Hi everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio and welcome to day 2 of my week-long of celebration projects that I have for you. So we are about halfway through the winter celebration for 2022. So if you're unfamiliar with celebration and this is the first time you've stumbled on my channel, and if that's the case, it's probably because you want to see how to put the tulip dies together. Let me just take a second to tell you about celebration. So everything in this catalog is free. So there's different ways that you can get the different free things. And today I'm going to be using 2 of them. So I will point those out. If you need any catalog and you're in the US, whether you need this one or a big one, you can message me and I'm happy to send you your first one completely free of charge. And then once you're my customer, you always get them for free. And every month I do thank you gifts and I do special videos for my customers where you can also get the supplies to do the card along with me. So I have a lot of fun things. You'll want to go to my website and then you can from there join the email list and then you always know what's going on. So today I am going to use 2 things out of here. I'm going to use the special moments. Now this is free with a $100 purchase and it's because there's so many stamps in it. There are 21 stamps. And I have used a lot of them already throughout the course of January and in my classes, my online classes. I've been pulling it out. So I am going to use one of the little words out of it today. So I'm going to use that one. And then I'm going to use the rainbow paper. So I'm going to use the rainbow paper, but I'm not going to make a rainbow card. So there you go. But this is such a fun pack of paper, and it does coordinate with the rainbow suite that's in our in the current January to June mini catalog. And I may get back to that. For sure I will, because I think I'm going to do a class on it in February. So stay tuned for that, an online class. So you can see it has lots of fun patterns. Obviously, you do not have to do a rainbow thing with it. And I have pieces from this missing because this is the package that I have been working with. Not going to do a rainbow card for you today because I want to tie some other things. But I will show you. This is on my channel. This was actually one of our Try It class cards. It was the, and that class is over. I do have a couple of extra packets and I will be putting those up. I always do a couple of extras for those that join my team. They can get them for free. And then a couple of extras for in case anything gets torn up or lost in the mail, because that's happened. And to recreate a packet, I learned early on, was not a whole lot of fun because there's a whole lot of embellishments and ribbons, and recutting all of that paper for one packet is not fun. So I do some extras, and once I'm 100% certain that everybody has theirs, then I will offer those extras up for grabs on through my email. But this is a video that's up, and obviously it's a rainbow. It does use the rainbow dies, so you can see that one. This one is also on my channel. I'm pretty sure it is. Sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe this was a VIP class, but it's not because it has stamping on it. So this one's on my channel, so you can see this one. And then this one is fun. One of my girlfriends gave this to me. So she's combined 2, as well as you can see. This has the, this is the Simply Marvelous, which will come up later this week. So it's got 2 celebration items on it. It has the rainbow paper, and she stamped on it, and then the Simply Marvelous paper. So I'm going to use those 2 celebration items. And then to get the free things, of course, you have to buy something. So I am going to use the tulip dies. And part of the reason I'm going to do it is because this week I'm concentrating on celebration, but I've had so many of you after I did the daffodil dies, and those will make another appearance this week because of the daffodil paper. But when I did the daffodil dies, then people were like, please do the tulip dies, please do the tulip dies. And so I just thought, well, they look super cute with the rainbow paper. It's not going to be a rainbow card. So I'm just going to use the tulip dies from the Flowering Tulips bundle. And don't worry, I will revisit it again with the tulip paper and a little less ornate. Because here's the thing, when I get dies, I just put them all through my die cutting machine. And then I kind of mess with them. I try to figure them out on my own, because sometimes when you do it that way, you do it differently than if you just look, right? So on occasions, there's been a few, some of the pop-up things, like once upon a time, I think there was the cuckoo clock. Like, then I go back and I'm like, exactly how am I supposed to make this work? But after I did mine, then I looked at these and I'm like, well, I guess I really overdid mine because I use all of the dies on one flower. So I'll go back now after I figured out my super duper fabulous tulip that has all of the tulip leaves on one tulip, and we'll go back and we'll use it with the tulip paper and the tulip stamps. But for today, I'm going to use it with the rainbow paper, and it's super fun, super easy to do. And the other thing that coordinates with the rainbow paper is the cloud punch. So I'm going to use the cloud punch, and I want to show you. You can see the ones I've already used on my sample card. So let's go here just so we can reach these. So trim this out, and it fits perfectly. So let's get this one here because it's super cute. So I want a whole one, and you can see it just lines right up there. And then let's get, well, that's not going to work because I want a half one. Well, we'll just punch a couple out, and then we'll use the ones that we want. Because sometimes when you get these, here's a little tip for you. Instead of saving your paper like this, you can punch them all out, and then you can just put them in the stamp case. Make sure your stamps are clean, or put them in like in a little, save your little embellishment packets. You know how those, and if you do my classes, then you get lots of embellishment packets. We'll make it work with this one. But then slide them into one of those little clear plastic sleeves and put them in your stamp case that goes with either your rainbows or the other one that goes with. I'm just going to punch out a couple of these. This would make it a rainbow card, and I told you it's not going to be a rainbow card. I have to stop talking and rolling that up. But then they're already punched out, and your paper's not going to get mangled. We're doing this card at camp. The ladies will be exceedingly happy if I've already punched them out for them. So here we go. I just need a half a one because I do want a half a cloud, and then a whole one. So if you don't have a half, you can use 2 holes, but I'm just going to show you how to use these ones that kind of get chopped up. In fact, you could even use these. You could use the ones on the bottom. You can use these ones over on the side. We just make my card look different. So the cloud punch does go, and look how cute it is flipped on the other side. So it has those little rainbows, and you can just make little rainbow clouds. So we'll decide which ones of these to use once the card's done. So let's make our tulips. And like I said, I did not look on how to make these. And as far, I don't think that Stampin' Up! Has a resource at the moment on how to make them. I know early on they didn't because people were asking me if I had used them. And at that point they did not. Maybe they've gotten some up since then. So here's how I chose my colors. I'm going to use this piece of paper out of the rainbows. So I went with the Granny Apple Green, and then this is Pale Papaya, but I wanted my tulip to be more of a yellow. So this is Daffodil, and then we're going to use the blending brush with the Pale Papaya to kind of give it 2 tones. Because I'm going to show you something on the dies when we run those through. So here's the stem. I'm not using, I did when I originally ran them through, I ran through, there's a long stem and a short stem. And then that was kind of my clue that maybe all of those flowers, all of the tulip leaves, they're not leaves, what would they be called? The tulip, you know, when you're here by yourself and nobody can help you think of the word. All of the tulip petals weren't maybe not supposed to go on one flower, but I made them go on one flower. So these themselves, they cut and emboss, but mine didn't emboss very well, so I'm going to try it this time. I'm going to add a little bit of height to mine, like this, and see if we can get them to emboss a little bit better. So I'll just lay them all on here because I didn't know what they were going to do. I didn't really know how to use them. So they fold over, which is obvious once you run them through, because when the first time you run them through, you look at them and you're like, not really sure what to do with these. So here's all the pieces. And I'm not sure, these pieces, I think you would need to run through more than once, maybe, if you were going to do more than one tulip. At least that's how I would do it, because I put so many petals on mine. So if you use them with double-sided paper, because originally I was going to use them and run them through the rainbow paper itself. But then once I ran them through this and I realized they needed to be folded over, the back side of your paper is just as important as the front side of your paper. And you'll see what I mean in a second, because you're going to see both sides of your paper. So you can't have the back side of your paper. Yeah, this made the little embossed section stand up a little bit better. And just by adding a little folded over sheet of the scrap paper, it's just raised that up a tiny bit more. It also cuts it, but that's okay. Now we have lots of cut pieces. And I'm gonna make sure I have them all. Although I think that if I don't have them all in mine, I'd be okay, because mine's a really full, beautiful flower. It would be, if I hadn't chose to do it on the rainbow paper, if you did it on maybe like the wood paper from Heart and Home, or even just on some embossed shimmer white paper, it'd make a really beautiful wedding card with this really full tulip. So you can see, I'll hold it up to the camera. You can see that they are embossed, like it gives this little embossed part. But here's the thing, when you fold them over, some of them lose the embossed side because it embosses on one side and not the other. So it's a little bit, I think it's in case you want to do a 3D, and I am missing one because there's 3 of these. I know there's 3 of those because you can see them right here, but I also know because when I made it. There we go. One stayed in. So I'm going to take my pale papaya, and this will make it now match the color on the card, but it just gives us a 2-tone, and I figured it was okay to have a yellow tulip that wasn't on there. So I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool and my blending brush. This is just because these are kind of hard to hold down. And just get some ink on it. And then the tops of them are what shows. The bottoms of most of these aren't going to show, but when you just kind of blend over the top, it accents the fact that they are embossed. So do also the tops have a little bit of that papaya. I will do a couple of them, and then I'm going to fast forward this bit, and then I'll show you them done because you don't have to watch it. But holding them with this saves both your fingers. It helps them from moving. But see, when this one folds over, you're not going to see the whole thing. So part of it's still going to just be the saffron. So it's going to give it a fun 2-tone petal effect. So I'll finish these and then we'll go to the next stage. Okay, so I've done all of those. And now you're going to want to take and fold them. And I don't really think there's a wrong way you can put them together. You just kind of stick them together. And if you want a smaller flower, then you will just do a smaller one. So you can see they just fold. So see now, if you have a 3D, like if you want to make a little vase full of flowers, they will have one side have the both sides have the embossing as well. But on a card, you're going to lose one of it. But it does show you where to fold them because it has a little folding, a little scoring part. So just fold that over. And then because I'm using cardstock, I think it's easier to just go ahead and use my bone folder just to give it a nice crease. I think if you're using designer series paper, but see what I mean? If you use one where one side's beautiful and the other one has rainbows on it, the other side, the rainbows are going to show. So it's not, you have to just think about both sides of your paper. But the designer series paper, I think you would just be able to fold. And then those don't fold. So then you just start sliding them together. So they just kind of fit like this, and you just make them work. And you can go as deep in or as high up as you want. So I just did them all. See, this one I think could just be a bud if you wanted to just be a bud. But I wasn't gonna put two flowers on this one card, so I just kept sticking them all together. I found the easiest way to hold it to start was with some glue dots. And then it is stuck to my card with glue because it's a pretty heavy flower because I stuck them all on the one. So just kind of get these sections on here, and the sections that don't have ink will hold a little better. So let's do that one. And also with the glue dots, if you don't like it, you can kind of pull them apart. Like if you stick something, like let's do this, and then let's just see, this one's wider. So I'm gonna stick this one in there, and I'm not gonna shove it all the way down just yet. But see, I think you could go the other way too. All of your flowers can look a little different. It's more just folding them and then just kind of playing with them to see what you like. This is the top of this one. And it could be, I mean, they've done it, so I think they can go either way. Like you can make it be however you want it to be. I'm gonna stick a glue dot on the back of this one, but wherever it has the ink, it doesn't stick as well. So let's stick them in here. But see how pretty the back of that one is? And so even on a card, you can flip them around. Just play with them. Stick this in here. And you can see right now there's not a whole lot. There's just those few glue dots holding it together. And I'm making this be a little bit higher. Now we have this piece here. And sometimes I wasn't sure whether to put my glue dots on the front or the back, but this is the back of mine. And there's not a whole lot holding them together except for the glue at the end. But I did kind of do this. Now tulips, you know, are kind of thinner and taller unless they're dying. I don't want a dying tulip on mine. Then they start to open up a little bit more. So this, you can stick it here, or you can go back down inside here, wherever you, I'm pretty sure on my other one that I got it to go. I think I have it stuck down in here. And then I pulled this one up. See, with the glue dots, you can still kind of move them. So I'm gonna stick that one here. And this one right here. See if I can move it up. If I can't, then we'll just do it different than the other one. It's worse because I'm trying to show you what I'm doing, so I'm trying to angle it so you can see it. But with the glue dots, you can move them. I don't even know which one I stuck in there just now, this one. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and stick this one right here. That's not where it is on my other one, and then we can just kind of see. I'll take close-up pictures of both the cards of the flowers and put them on. See where there's that ink. And it's partly because it's still a little wet, because when you put a blending brush on, it takes a minute for it to dry. But it's enough to get it stuck to hold it together until I've added the glue. So we'll just do that. Give it a couple more petals, maybe. And then for this one, I did take my seal because it also will move. So if I don't like the angle of these, see, I can still move them. And I laid it here. And then you can kind of just move this all around. Move that more up. And then when you have it kind of how you like it, that looks pretty good. But you can see it's still moving because there's not a whole lot holding it together. So I'm just gonna lay that there, and then it's all ready to just lay on our card and glue that together. So I have a piece of flamingo. And then our fun little polka dots. This is gonna be just a fun spring card. So this is the rainbow paper you saw was 6 by 6. I cut this to 4 5 1/4. And then I'm just going to start with my stem, and that way I can just glue my flower onto my card. So we'll just add this here. That way I'll know where everything needs to go, and this can just hold it. So let's get our fun greeny apple green. And this can help hold that stem on there. And then let's get our clouds. So I want that 1/2 cloud, and you don't have to use the 1/2 cloud. I just wanted to kind of let you show you what you can do. So this was the one that was on the edge of the paper. So I'm just going to put it so it goes off the edge of my paper, because there's no sense in wasting those. So put that one right there. And then I have from our other free stamp set, one of my favorite ones out of there says, "Hello Sunshine." Just gonna stamp this in black right on my cloud. And then I'm gonna glue this on so we can see where to put that. And then you can just put these in a baggie and stick them in with your stamp set or back in with your paper. So let's take the green glue. I'm just gonna put some right here where I know this is gonna need to hold it. And it's a pretty heavy flower because that's all of the petals that come in the kit. But the green glue also gives you a second to move it. So if you get it on here and you don't like how it is, you can move it. And then I took this and I just held it up just a tad, and this dries clear. So I just added a little bit of just tiny, tiny bits of glue down in where it could kind of seep in. My other one has been sitting for about 10 minutes, maybe while I reset everything up to do it, so I can show you how it's dried. Because this, you won't be able to see it once it's dried. And I'll take the pictures for my blog post after that's dried. But that's now enough that it's gonna hold it. You can probably get a bit more right here. If you want, you can put the whole thing together with the green glue. I don't like it because it gets on my nails. It gets on your fingers too. It's a pretty sticky glue. So let's get our other cloud on here. And for that one, I'm going to use some dimensionals. So we have a lot of adhesives going on this card. If you take my online classes, then you can get the adhesive package that I offer. And it has, it doesn't have the green glue. It has the fine tip glue, which you would hold this as well. But you get to buy those at catalog cost. I pick up the tax and the shipping, and it ships with whatever class you're taking. So this cloud, you just want to make sure, that's why I stamped it first, because then your words can't be crooked, because you just put them on there. Well, if you're not talking and looking, just put them so your words are straight. And then I wanted to have a tiny bit of sparkle. So I took my Wink of Stella and just added a little bit of, this also picks up a little bit more of the papaya as you brush over the petals. And then just a little bit, you want make sure not to go over your words, especially if you've just stamped them like I did, because you don't want those to smear. I didn't want it to be super sparkly, so I didn't re-squeeze my pen. It's just what's left on the tip. So it just adds a tiny bit. And then, you know, the thing that makes our spring showers, our spring flowers is our spring showers, right? So I took the little teardrops from the silver and clear epoxies, excuse me, to stand in for raindrops. And I added 5 of them. You could add more if you want, because they really are kind of cute on here. And you know, when it's like a whopping 9 degrees outside right now, Fahrenheit, for those of you watching in the South Pacific. And I know that it's supposed to get down, wind chills are below 0 Fahrenheit. So the thought of some spring showers right now, it is sunny, so we do have the sun, but at least some spring showers when it is bitterly cold is a little bit more fun than freezing. And the thought of going out in the garden and seeing those first spring bulbs come up. So there you go. So here's this one. Let me show you the other one where the glue has started to dry a little bit more, because you can only see where I really put the one big chunk. And this one, I'm going to show you, these are not in the same place that I put the other ones. So literally it's just wedging them all together, kind of sticking them in. The only thing that I absolutely am certain is in the same place, because now that I'm looking at it, the front petals are different. So the only one that I know that I stuck in the same place are the back 3. But you're going to see in just a second that I don't even have the front 2 in the same spot. So there's really no right or wrong way. And in nature, the petals on a flower don't all look identical, right? So you don't, if you're putting 2 of these on a card, so the only thing that you can see right now that's still wet is that, and it's because I stuck a bunch of glue. But look, this front one right here is totally different than that one right there. So I'll take it close up, and then if you like one flower better than the other, then you can try to recreate it based on where the scoopies are going, but those are not. And I thought I did it the exact same way. Well, I knew at the end that one piece that I had used someplace different, but really it is just folding them over and then kind of putting them in. And I have a feeling that if you got out like one of your gardening catalogs that they're sending us right now, I order from Baker's Creek, you know, when we get all of our seeds. If you took the petal pieces between this and the daffodil and you just kind of sat and messed with them, that you could come up with a lot of different flowers. Like it's just once you have the petals and the leaves, you could kind of do with what you want. Because I just shoved those together, fold and just place. Those are 2 tulips, but definitely 2 different petal placements. And I thought I did the same thing. So you really can't go wrong. They're not hard. Don't be afraid. You might want to, the first time you do it, is just run it through on some scrap paper, just maybe some typing paper. And they're easier to fold and just kind of mess with them. And then if you find one that you like, you could undo it and then kind of make yourself a little pattern where you could kind of write it out on a piece of paper. I do think I prefer this one over this one, but I kind of like the way the back of this one is prettier and the front of this one's prettier. So I need to figure out how to merge the 2 together. So that's what I have for you today. So remember, there's 2 free things on this. The celebration things are while supplies last. So sometimes the paper runs out before the stamps because Stampin' Up! Does make our own stamps and the paper comes from a supplier. So if it starts running out, then it will go quicker. I do have a daffodil and a rainbow class coming up, an online class in February. So registration will open for that February 1st. A little sooner if I get ready, but I doubt it because I have camp this week. So everybody have a great day, and I will catch you back here later. Bye.